Story time, people. Currently driving, so you got to bear with me, all right? I wanted to get this out as soon as possible, but I had a lot of shit going on since I got back. So the weekend before this last weekend, I took it upon myself to leave the country again. This time en route of Thailand. Back to Thailand, right? My flight itinerary is scheduled to leave out of Dallas, Texas, which then would be flying into Tokyo, Japan, by way of a 13-hour flight. I mean, talk about brutal, right? From Dallas to Tokyo, Japan. We land in Tokyo, Japan, and then the flight from Tokyo, Japan was another hour wait. So we then flew from Tokyo, Japan at around midnight, and we landed in Bangkok, Thailand at about 5 a.m. their time. Well, when we pulled in, I get off the plane and I'm immediately met with immigration, Thai immigration, right? They're like, you, pull me to the side. You come here. And I'm like, oh fuck, I already knew what this was about, right? They showed me a paper and it was my old Texas registry profile. They had a I guess a screenshot of my Texas registry profile, in which I don't even reside in Texas anymore. So I don't know why it's still up. I don't know why Texas won't fucking remove it, but it's still up, right? So they had a picture of it, and they presented me with a letter that says, well, it was basically a green notice. My first time ever seeing that, all right? Because when I landed in Germany the first time, I didn't see the green notice. They didn't show it to me. They just verbally came and talked to me about it and still let me in the country. This time when I landed in Thailand with that green notice, I was actually shocked that a green notice was even sent out, because I didn't even give 21-day notice. And the jurisdiction that I currently reside in does not require me to register for me to even give a 21-day notice. So even though I tried to give a 21-day notice, they wouldn't allow it, right? So I did my part. Well, when I flew out to Thailand and they had this the letter, he actually let me get a picture of the letter, and I'm not going to post the letter anywhere because, quite frankly, it has my personal information on it, right? Just so that you people know, because a lot of you don't know, they send the same letter in both languages. Wherever you fly out to, that language is in Spanish. If that country is a Spanish country, they're going to send it in Spanish. If it's a German country, they're going to send it in German and English, right? So there's going to be multiple languages of this same letter that they send out. And this letter basically contains your personal information, name, age, date of birth, your charges, your conviction, the disposition, the victim's age. It's going to contain all of that, and it's going to contain your sentence, or whatever your sentence was. It's also going to contain your flight itinerary details, where you're coming from, what flight you're on, what time that flight is scheduled to land, at which airport. It's so damn detailed, right? One other thing that I did notice, and I thought was kind of odd, was at the bottom of this letter, excuse me, at the bottom of this letter, it says, please do not disclose the contents of this letter to the passenger. It tells the immigration agents to not tell me about that letter. It tells them to not let me be aware of the existence of that letter. I just thought it was odd, because it's like, why wouldn't you want me to know what's being said about me? They're just kind of keeping shit secret, like, you know, what, I don't know what they're trying to accomplish by that. However, I don't think the agent that I spoke can read English too well. I don't think he could, because he would have saw that part, and I don't think he would have let me get a picture of that letter had he saw that part. But either way it goes, he let me get a picture of that. I just couldn't take a picture of anything written in Thai. Okay? So, long story short, I was denied entry into Thailand by obvious reasons. The agent that stopped me, he did say that I would be able to re-enter Thailand. I just needed to go clear that situation up first and get that taken down first, in which we all know that's not going to go anywhere. They're going to keep that shit posted long until I'm dead and gone, and they're not going to remove that. And I've never understood why or what they gained out of that. So I was verbally told that I would be allowed back into the country. I just had to take care of that first. However, when it came down to discussion of where to go next from there, I suggested, well, let me purchase a ticket to a different country. You know, maybe Indonesia, maybe Malaysia, maybe Cambodia, somewhere else. Let me purchase a ticket somewhere else. And this is me talking to the agent, another agent, and then the airline employee that I flew in from, which was Japan Airline. They both came and spoke to me, and this is what I proposed to them, was for me to fly somewhere else. They then read my charges to the airline worker, and then she says, no, you have to go back to the US. She would not let me purchase a ticket anywhere else. I had to fly back to the US. It was just so fucking stupid. Like, bruh. Like, why does it matter to you? Like, there's no warrant out for my arrest. I'm not being arrested or anything. I haven't done anything within that country. There's no reason for them to tell me that I couldn't fly anywhere else. Her justification behind it was, well, we don't know if another country is going to let you in. Well, that's none of your business if they're going to let me in, right? She started getting pissed off. You know, this woman said, you are not a normal passenger. I said, what does a normal passenger look like? You? Me? Because I'm sure compared to my situation, there's a lot of other motherfuckers on this plane that have done way worse and they just haven't been caught. But you want to zero in on me because of this one fucking letter. Either way it goes, I was being forced to purchase a ticket back to the US, even though I didn't have any interest in returning to the fucking US. I had to purchase a ticket back, which was probably 6 times more expensive than purchasing a ticket somewhere else close by. That ticket back to the US cost me $1,100. This bitch wouldn't let me go nowhere else, right? So I purchased the ticket. Airline workers, they kept my passport. They're walking with customs immigration all the way back up to the airline. They have all my things, my check-in bag. They have my passport, and they're even carrying my carry-on bag. We get all the way back to the airline. My passport is given to the airline worker, and I'm told to be seated in priority seating, in which, when it was time to board the plane, I'm the first one on the plane. And my passport was given to the airline worker on the flight. We then land back in Japan. And when I got off of the Japan airline, I was escorted over to immigration in Japan, who then escorted me over to my next flight. Not to again, no surprise that they actually kept my passport again, even in Japan. Was given to the airline worker on the next flight. So when I get on the next flight, my passport was then given to the airline worker on that flight. And I was then seated last this time. So we take the 10-hour flight into, what was this? Los Angeles this time, because the first time it was straight from Dallas, straight to Tokyo. This time we flew from Tokyo into Los Angeles. I land in Los Angeles, and when I get off the airplane, I'm thinking they're gonna fucking detain me and try to arrest me, right? That wasn't the case. I was given my passport back from the Japan airline worker, and I was told to have a safe flight back to where I was headed, to Dallas. Okay, so I collect all my things and I get off the flight and I head down straight through passport control in Los Angeles. And when I get to passport control, an exclamation point comes up when my passport is scanned. The agent then says, okay, we're gonna have to send you over to secondary. No surprise. We usually get sent over to secondary, right? So I go to secondary, and the agent there in secondary, he's busting my chops, man. I swear, this dude is asking detailed ass questions about my whereabouts, where I'm going, where I've been when I got back, where I'm registered at, what are the standards here and there. You know, he's digging deep, and I can tell he's literally trying to find a reason to violate me or take me to jail, but he can't seem to do it. All right, I'm answering all his questions. I'm presenting all the evidence. I literally did everything I possibly could to cross my T's and dot my I's before I left the U.S. Mind you, I only came back to the U.S. just to get medical treatment. If it wasn't for that, I would still be outside somewhere in Asia somewhere. I would still be outside of the country. That's the only reason why I came back. So when I came back this time, I guess I was subjected to the new standards that they're doing now, which is they're sending out green notices even if you don't give your 21-day notice. So just be mindful and be aware of that. We're going to have to try to find other ways around that. And my organization, we're currently looking into that, you know, other possible routes, other possible loopholes, you know, to see what we can possibly do. But we won't be able to disclose this information in these public videos. So you're going to have to join the WhatsApp group. And we're currently creating a website to see, to bring our followers closer together, maybe to raise more funds so we could fund these sort of travels in order to let us know where we can go and how we can go about doing it, since our own government is not telling us. You know, we don't know unless we fly out there and find out. And that's what we just have to take the chance and do it, right? So going back to this agent, when I flew in Los Angeles, like I said, I can tell that he was literally trying to find some reason to hit me up, but he just couldn't do it. He has my old Texas profile on his screen, and he's asking me for my driver's license. But lucky for me, I renewed my driver's license in the state that I was not required to register in. When I showed him my new driver's license, his face just dropped. He was like, oh my goodness. All right, that's good stuff. All right, cool. You can tell he was defeated. He really wanted to hit me up on something. So he then gave me back my driver's license, gave me back my passport, my papers. I also had to present a letter that by the state that I reside in that says that I'm no longer required to register. I had to give him that. And he's telling me that I had to carry that letter around everywhere just in case I get stopped. And I'm like, why the fuck would I carry that around with me? You know, like just that's just pointless. You know, who wants to walk around with sexual assault paperwork in their fucking pocket? I'm not doing that shit. You know, but luckily I actually had a picture of it. So I let him I let him see the picture, and he read all the details. And you know, after that, dude was defeated. He ended up letting me go, waved me through, and handed me my passport back and told me to have a good day. I left, and when I walked out of there, it was like, yo, I felt like I totally caught a W there. Like, yo, just couldn't believe it. But as per what my plans are going forward, I do not have any plans going forward other than to maybe try to see if I can, try to see if I can get, I don't know, maybe another route going or dig deeper into the process. But I will say that when I got back, I reached out to Thai consulate at the embassy in Houston, Texas, and I was told that even though my passport was not stamped and I was told that I would be able to return, that my denial was in the system. And the consulate, she was a nice lady. She also told me that it wouldn't be wise for me to return back to Thailand. Because even if I made it past the agent at the airport, if I enter Thailand, then they could come pick me up at any point. And I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live like not knowing if I'm not supposed to be there or not supposed to do something, or I don't want to live a life like that. So I want to fully comply with the rules and the laws, but the laws need to be clear about what the laws are so that we can follow the laws. It's just not fair that we don't know, and we always have to spend our money to go find out only to be told no. And this is not a couple $100 here and there, right? This is thousands of dollars that each one of us individually are spending to fly out of the country only to be told no, we can't do this. We need to know ahead of time, and that's all we ask for. Most folks won't give a shit, and that's cool, but that's why I'm here. It's my job to find out, and I don't have a problem with doing it. So that was pretty much my story with this past, well, the weekend before last. And yeah, this is unfortunate. It's a bummer, but it is what it is. I took a loss, but at the same time, I found out a lot of information as well. If you're interested in joining the WhatsApp group, definitely hit up the email on the screen and I'll get you verified into the group. If you have any other information that you want to share, I'd love to hear it. All right. So reach out to me and let's discuss this and more. All right. You guys have a blessed day. Stay safe.